all my life. Been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life.
Welcome to Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. It is Football Friday, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be joined momentarily by the bad guy himself, Mr. Steve Walsh, who is sitting in for Mr. Sterling Holmes while he's out on the golf course this weekend. But also, though, we have the good fortune to be joined by my good friend, Mr. Lorenzo Neal, former NFL All-Pro fullback for the San Diego Chargers, who I believe he's going to try to come with some fire this week. It's been a minute since we had a chance to talk to him. Lorenzo, how you doing today, man?
Well, I'm still pretty in the face and swimming away. So if that tells you, you know I must be doing absolutely legendary. Legendary. And I'm ready to bring it because you know every time I come on this show, all your callers always say, man, go get that guy again because he sure keeps you in check. So I'm here today to do what I need to do on a Good Friday.
First of all, look, I want to welcome you back to the show, but you know I got a bone to pick with you, right? Because the last time you were on the show, you had me siding with you with this Justin Herbert character, and I've been picking the Chargers week in and week out. And week in and week out, they kept blowing 16-point leads, losing ball games, just like they did last week when I picked them again to win. Lorenzo, what's going on with your Chargers, man?
Man, this hurts me. This is painful. I love Anthony Lynn. I think he's a phenomenal player. I think he was a phenomenal, a good coach. And I don't know what it is. Something's going on. They play down to the level of competition when they're playing a bad team, and they play up to the level of competition when they're playing good and elite teams, but they find a way to lose in both scenarios. So when you look at it like that and you think about what's going on, and of course all the plague, the injury, this team is in plagued with injuries too. Melvin Ingram comes back as Joey Bosa goes on, concussion protocol, but it's inexcusable. And that's the thing. You look at this young quarterback, Justin Herbert. He's probably if they were to redraft, he would probably be the number 2 pick in the whole draft. It would still be Joe Burrows, of course. What Cincinnati's got, they got a gunslinger and a game changer, and they got their quarterback for the next decade, barring injuries. And then probably Justin Herbert will be the second off the board because this guy is big, he's physical, he's hard to bring down. If you play third down, if you're in 3rd and 5 or more, and you play man-to-man coverage, guess what? He's big enough and strong enough to pick up 5 to 10 yards because he can scramble. He's got the arms. He's got the goods. Unfortunately, the Chargers, you saw it last week. They blew a double-digit lead against Denver. So, yes, I, too, wrong. I'm sorry I gave you some bad info. But sometimes you get the bear, and sometimes the bear gets you. And right now, that Charger team, it's definitely getting it. The Bears getting it.
So I'm curious. Obviously, there's been a big deal this past week with COVID, just rummaging all through the NFL. Your thoughts on the effect that it's having on players? Chris Jones here with the Kansas City Chiefs, they had placed him on there, but he got taken off today. They said he tested out of it, so he's fine. He's going to play in Sunday's game. But what's your thought on how COVID-19 has kind of ravaged the league, especially this particular week in general?
Well, the COVID, it's a, we've been in many wars, World War II, and you remember World War I and II, all the wars that we've seen, the Iran War, all the wars that we've been. But this time, brother, we're fighting an enemy we can't see. And COVID-19, it's winning. And all we can do is try to protect ourselves and do the best we can to protect others. This too shall pass, but we got to still continue to fight and try to hopefully get a vaccine. But it's really have not just ravaged the National Football League. I think if you look at the big three, basketball, baseball, and football, you look at it, football's been hit the hardest and the worst. Because baseball, you look at it, there's not that many guys. When you're talking about basketball, they were able to hold a bubble and everything was good. And football, you look at it. Look, when we're playing now, the weather's going to change. They're talking about shutting down the country here in another 2 weeks, and another big epidemic's going to hit. So when you look at football and how many people that have to be involved in as far as coaching, players, and wives, and all the things that are around, football's the sport that's been hit the hardest. And this year is going to be tainted. It's different than, baseball. It's different than basketball. Those guys, they still got to play the best. Football, you seeing it. Right now, the best teams aren't getting a lot of the best teams. Guys are out with COVID, and it is decimating teams. and it's definitely changing outcomes of the game, no question.
Now, Lorenzo, we had to allow Sterling his opportunity to spend time with his family. So he's part of the 0.1% out here. So he's out in another country playing golf. So sitting in for him is my guy, Steve Walls. I don't know, you may have ran into him during a Radio Road down in Miami this past year. But Steve, now Steve was also on the Zoom call just now with the Chiefs defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo. Now, Steve, you got a chance to ask him a question. What was your question, and what was Steve's response to it?
And I asked him, being at the halfway point this season, just wanted to find out if he self-scouts his guys in season, and what kind of grade does he give his guys if he does, to be successful down the stretch. And he really didn't, answer my question. He gave that Coach Spags, well, I don't really grade my guys. We wanted to get better at everything. So, listening to what he said, I think in the back of his mind, he does, have something that they want to get better at. And I believe it's stopping the run. When you think about it, they have Christian McCaffrey coming in, and we'll see. And I think time will tell.
And Lorenzo, we'll pick the game in the next segment, but I did want to ask you, obviously, as a former NFL running back and fullback as well, what do you see in particular with Christian McCaffrey that could cause problems for Kansas City when they come into town this Sunday?
Well, I think everyone knows it's everything. What can he do? I mean, if you look at Christian McCaffrey, I was one of those guys that thought that Zeke Elliott run harder than McCaffrey. But you start to watch McCaffrey now, and he's nifty. He doesn't necessarily take the big hits. He takes you hit him with the side. He runs hard. You know what? I don't know if Zeke is just slowing down, but I thought Zeke was kind of that guy. And now I'm looking at Christian McCaffrey, what he is in the passing game. You look at Kamara. You look at what he is with the Saints. You go around the league, and you look at what. Minnesota, their running back. Christian McCaffrey, guys, special, and I think I think everyone's starting to realize that and see that. They're seeing it closer, and they get to see it every Sunday or every Monday when he's playing. Unfortunately, he's coming back. Fortunately, he is coming back due to injury. But Christian McCaffrey, guys, he's not just a chain mover. There's a lot of guys that can move the sticks, but he's a game changer. He's a game changer in the passing game, and he's a game changer in the running game. And that's the guy like LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, a great running back that I was able to block for. Eddie George, another great running back that I blocked for. Eddie George was a great chain mover, really effective in the run game. Was he a good passing game? Yes. But was he great? Was he game changing in the passing game? No. LaDainian Tomlinson, he was too fast for linebackers, too physical for safety. He could run any route the receivers could run. So McCaffrey falls in that. What can't he do, guys? So that's the kind of thing that's the biggest challenge for any defense is how do you slow him down and stop him? Because if you stop him in one, he's a double threat in the other.
Lorenzo Neal joined us on Darren and Sterling here on ESPN Radio. I'm curious though, Mike Davis has been admirable, in the 5 previous games since McCaffrey went down to an ankle injury after week number 2. Do you feel that, obviously they're going to try to work Christian back in and give him the necessary reps because he is obviously the money player for them. But do you think Mike Davis has kind of earned the opportunity to kind of split carries with Christian, or does he go back into that backup role once again?
If you're asking me, absolutely Mike Davis split carries with him because now you're looking at a guy who's earned the right to be a guy that's comparable. When you have a two-headed monster, that saves Christian McCaffrey. That saves his body. That saves him to get more longevity. Without a doubt, this Carolina Panthers is going to use both these backs. Now, majority of the carries and catches is going to go to McCaffrey. But even when he's healthy, they're still going to use both these guys because he has earned that right.
And I haven't had a chance to ask you. We haven't had a chance to talk in the last couple of weeks. But what is your thoughts on the Chiefs acquiring Le'Veon Bell, and how do you think he is going to do in this Kansas City offense along with Clyde Edwards-Helaire now?
It's going to be interesting to see what Le'Veon still has left in the tank. We know Le'Veon Bell, when he was in Pittsburgh with the Steelers, what he brought to the game and how physical and what he could do in between tackles. But he was kind of a volume guy that needed other weapons around him. He's in Kansas City, and you got to realize you have some good backs there, and you got some hungry guys there. I think Le'Veon Bell is going to bring some value to this team. Is he going to be a guy that's going to just take over? You don't need him necessarily to. It's going to be you're in a situation where you have a running back committee that everyone is good. So when you're in that situation, you're in a great situation for Kansas City, and iron sharpens iron. And I think that Le'Veon Bell is going to be hungry because he's going to want to prove himself. But we know that young rookie from LSU, this kid's toting the ball and he's toting it well.
Steve, go ahead.
Hey, Lorenzo. When you look at this team as a whole, and I know you've been amongst a good number of teams, during your playing career. Do you see a team quite like, or have you been around a team quite like Kansas City that, anybody on this offense can put up numbers as far as the receiving core goes and also the running back?
You know, a team that reminds me a little bit of this, guys, and I know it's kind of cliche, but the only thing that he couldn't do is he could not take off and he could not strike fear in opponents by running, and that was the Rams, one of the greatest fastest team on turf. And I was with Tennessee. We lost them by a yard. We beat them earlier in the season. We lost them in a Super Bowl, I think, a lot because we were injured. But I think if you look at just the weapons, you think about Marshall and you think about the receivers, Corey Holt and all those guys that they had, the Rams, they were pretty explosive. So I would imagine you could look at them like that, even when the Rams were rolling with Goff and the team, what they did a couple years ago, not even close. I think when you look at what Kansas City is now, the type of team that they are, it's so much like that Ram team of the 90s, because the Rams didn't have a great defense, but they had a firepower offense. So I think Kansas City is that same type of team, but just with a way more versatile quarterback who can do so many more other things than Kurt.
Do you think they were that close? I mean, when you think about just the youth of this Chiefs team, the receivers and Patrick Mahomes only been playing, a couple of years, and those guys have been together for a while. I mean, just when you look at it, those two teams, comparing them like that, do you think they're that close?
And that's why you guys, if you're a Kansas City fan, if you're a Kansas City player or a fan or media, you guys are very, very blessed because you do have a quarterback that you're never out of a game. You do have an offense similar to the Rams that you're never out of the game. Now, I'm not going to compare the running backs to Marshall, but you can't tell me that a combination of Le'Veon, the young rookie, that is not just comparable. Not saying better, but if you look at it in that regards and talk about the receivers that the Rams had, I look at Kansas City and what the X factor, you guys know it. It's Mahomes. Kurt Warner was a great quarterback, Hall of Famer. But if I told you guys Kurt Warner in his prime or Mahomes, what would you say? If you talked about just pure speed and you look at your receivers in a foot race and you had them all run a 40 or 100 yards, I'm not betting against what you guys have in Kansas City. Kansas City got an offensive line. You have running back depth. So I do. And I think you'd give a little edge to the Rams, but I think that the balancing factor is Mahomes. There, you look at what this young man can do, and now he's starting to get the game. They're taking away the deep ball at times, and he's still able to check down. Look at when it's 3rd and long, and what happens when teams play man-to-man against him. He can pick up 5, 6, 7, 8 yards with his legs. Kurt Warner couldn't do that. A lot of quarterbacks can't do that. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, they can't pick up those 8 to 10 yards when it's 3rd and long and teams are playing man. You look at now, Mahomes makes defense. They can't necessarily play man in those downs because of the fact what he can do with his legs. So I look at this team, guys, and this is a young team that you guys have. So I think that this team, without a doubt, I believe it's comparable.
So I'm curious, Lorenzo, obviously you played in San Diego. Did your paths, and I'm pretty sure it did, but did your paths cross with Eric Bieniemy? And if so, what are your thoughts on him as an offensive coordinator? And then, of course, with him hopefully getting a head coaching job next season.
Man, I absolutely love EB, boy. Eric Bieniemy and him, we go back. We go way back, boys. We go way back. We got stories, stories. That was my drinking buddy at golf tournaments. Me, him, and the great Junior Seau, rest in peace, would hang out. And Eric Bieniemy just always had been just a class act, always had been a good person, always smiling, always a good guy. and now you see what he's, matured and became as a leader and as an offensive coordinator and as a guy who can command respect for a team that's prolific. And give Andy Reid some kudos. Give Andy Reid credit for letting this guy have the opportunity, not holding back, putting him in a situation to be successful. And will Eric Bieniemy be a head coach one day? He better be. And at the same sense, would he get the respect of teams? No question. This guy's been in the locker rooms. He's been in offensive huddles with great quarterbacks. He's walked out on the field, played, for some great, Colorado Buffalo teams. He's been around players, and he's been in this locker room. So he knows what it takes on the field, off the field, so he can think like a player. Guys will gravitate toward him. You see what that's happening in Kansas City. So, yes, I think the development of Bieniemy has been great. And I'm looking forward for the opportunity for Eric Bieniemy to be a head coach.
All right, we're joined by Lorenzo Neal on Darren Sterling. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to see just how good his NFL picking skills are. We know he's going to pick the Chargers. We know he's probably going to fall short on that. But when we come back, we'll see how we all stack up. You're listening to Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City.
In these trying times, Kansas City Credit Union knows how important cash flow is in your household. With rates near all-time lows, now's the time to take action. Free up some cash by lowering your monthly car loan payment when you refinance your auto loan with Kansas City Credit Union. And as a bonus, Kansas City Credit Union will delay your payments for 90 days. Visit kansascitycreditunion.com/810sports for more information. Kansas City Credit Union, your path to financial freedom.
The American dream, home ownership. Now, is that true? Sometimes owning a house can be a problem, an ugly problem. Repairs, taxes, just mowing the yard. What we've learned is with every ugly problem, there's a beautiful solution. Let us be that solution. WeBuyUglyHouses.com. Call us today. We're the We Buy Ugly Houses people. 1-800-44-BUYER or WeBuyUglyHouses.com. Call us today. Get rid of that ugly problem. 1-800-44-BUYER. We're the real ugly house guys.
When do you think about your insurance? Chances are it's when you're paying your bill or filing a claim. At Briar Payne Mead, we always think about your insurance. It's what we do. Buying a car, having a baby. Great service and extremely $99. That's 913-681-099.
Hi, I'm Jordan, president of Digital Lagoon, a web and design agency. This year, I'm proud to be celebrating 25 years in business. Here at Digital Lagoon, we can provide you with a strategic digital marketing strategy. With the implementation of social media, SEO, and online advertising, these programs are proven to improve your website traffic. Let us collaborate with you to structure a plan and cut through the digital noise. Check us out at lagoon.com. That's lagoon.com.
SelectQuote is hiring advisors in Kansas City. I'm Joel Clark, a SelectQuote advisor for the last 17 years. We have great training compensation, no cold calling, you can work from home, and it's a fun environment. Some of our SelectQuote top earners have had no sales experience and have made over $200,000 annually. At 1-833-HIRING-1. That is 1-833-447-4641. Or check us out online at SelectQuoteCareer.com.
Did you know on average people only review their insurance plans once every 4 years? Hi, this is Corey Schnabel, owner of KC Insurance Group. Call KC Insurance Group today at 913-396-6320 for a no-obligation review of your current policy. If your current policy is the best fit for you, we'll tell you. If not, we'll save you some money with a tailored proposal from one of the best carriers in Kansas City. It's truly a win-win. KC Insurance Group voted 2019's best agency by Pitch Magazine. 913-396-6320 or visit us online at kcinsured.com.
We're back here on Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. Steve Walls in for Sterling. We are also joined by our special guest, Mr. Lorenzo Neal, former All-Pro NFL fullback for the San Diego Chargers, a member of the NFL All-Decade team for the decade of 2000s. Lorenzo, so, I listened to you once before. I haven't decided if I'm going to pay attention to you again this week, but that being said, we are going to test your knowledge and see just how good you are. Who did you have in last night's game, Green Bay or the 49ers?
Come on, guys. I mean,
I don't know.
You
Because
might
you
be
pick the
crazy,
Chargers a
but
lot.
you're not stupid. I mean, you know what? Really? I mean, hey, look. You don't put no Shetland pony. I have never yet seen a Shetland pony race in the Kentucky Derby, guys. And right now, the 49ers, they're a Shetland pony. So I'm not going to put them against Green Bay. They didn't have their quarterback, didn't have their tight end, didn't have their offensive tackle. So no, I did not take the San Francisco 49ers. You did? Shame on you.
No. I got a big parlay coming up this weekend. I definitely wasn't picking that. First game up, though, gentlemen. Steve, I'm gonna start with you. Denver, Atlanta. Who you got?
All right, man, come on. I have Atlanta, man. They are trying to make sure that they make this playoff run, man. They had some games that they should have won.
True,
including that Dallas game earlier in the season. But I have Atlanta going forward.
Okay, look, you threw me for a loop because I thought you were going to say. I figured you was going to go with your guy Drew Lock, so that's the only reason why. Who you got, Mr. Neal? Denver or Atlanta?
Yeah, you saw what Denver's about, guys, and yeah, their defense is decent, but they can't manufacture points. I can't believe the Chargers let that game get away from them. I was very, very disappointed. It was absolutely ferocious seeing that happen. So, but I too are going to take the ATL. Atlanta's playing great ball. They're going to win that game.
Do got to ask you though. On a side note, do you think Anthony Lynn makes it through the season?
God, I hope so, man. It's going to be sad because he's got something brewing. But honestly, I'm going to say this: if they continue to struggle the way that they are, no, he won't make it through the season. And the only reason that would be the saving grace if he does, guys, because COVID-19. Do you want to bring in another coach? Do you want to rock the boat? Have different bodies, people trying to bring in. So if they do, it's going to be hired from within. But you cannot definitely bring in a new coach right now with COVID. So if he does survive, I think it's going to be the COVID if they continue to lose.
Fair point. I got Atlanta in this game. I think Atlanta, along with the rest of Georgia, are going to be celebrating this weekend for obvious reasons. So let's go with next Seattle, Buffalo. Now, this is a tough game, Lorenzo. I got Seattle in this game, but it's close because, Buffalo, they play well at home. And Seattle has that bad defense, but at the end of the day, they got Russell Wilson. This is Steve's guy for MVP thus far in the midseason. So I'm a slab with Russell, but I mean, you got to talk me off the ledge on this one.
No, I'm not going to talk you off the ledge. It's absolutely the Seattle Seahawks. You act like you're doing rocket science right now. I mean, you're trying to do the bait and switch, trying to get us all goosed up. Come on, Buffalo.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, exactly. Buffalo should have lost to the friggin' Rams. Buffalo should have lost last week. Buffalo should have lost to a New England Patriots team that don't have anything. Cam, look at what's going on there. Has no receivers. He fumbles the ball away, and they win that game. So Buffalo should have lost that game. Buffalo is not that good. Absolutely, Seattle.
Steve, can you?
Man, I'm gonna have to go with Buffalo in this game, man. Seattle, they're allowing over 300 passing yards a game. No team has ever allowed over 300 passing yards a game in the course of a full season. So, man, I just something's telling me that Josh Allen is going to air it out and make something happen at home.
Something's telling me I gotta ask more parlay bets this weekend. Next up now this is an interesting game. Lorenzo, we're looking at the Chicago Bears at the Tennessee Titans. Now the Bears, with Nick Foles has been a little bit of a disappointment. Some games that he should have been able to pull out. To me, should have been able to beat the Rams, but he had turnovers and were overthrowing receivers. The Tennessee Titans, they've lost 2 games in a row after starting off the season 5-0. Your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this is going to be a good game. Both these quarterbacks aren't necessarily great, but Tennessee, man, Tennessee lost to some pretty good teams. I know everyone's not happy with the Cincinnati Bengals, but name me a game the Bengals haven't been in. This Burrows guy, man, this is Burrows. Joe Burrows. This guy's phenomenal. He's going to be the MVP of the league within 4 years. It's going to be probably even shorter, man. I'd even say 3. And the fierce competition is there. He's that good. So I don't count necessarily that was just a bad game. Cincinnati wanted a little bit more, but this is that bounce back game. So I'm going to go with the Titans. They need this game. They need it bad. I like the Titans overall team, and I think their offense is going to get it going.
That's fair. I got Tennessee as well. Steve, who you got?
Nick Foles has been under pressure, man. Don't make me talk you into it. Go ahead and go with your Bears. Go ahead. I can't do it. The Bears, their offensive line hasn't played well. I think the Titans will bring it, man, and I think Tennessee is going to win this game.
Yeah, for some reason I just don't see them losing 3 games in a row. Now this next one though is also going to be a good game. This is of course interdivision game. You got the Baltimore Ravens at the Indianapolis Colts. Lamar Jackson, even Jim Harbaugh said that. Well, I'm sorry, John Harbaugh said that he has to tighten this game up. I think that Baltimore bounces back. This is one of those. This is actually a pick'em game. Who you got in this game? I got the Titans, and I got the Ravens in this game to bounce back and win against the Colts. Go ahead, Lorenzo. I'm sorry.
I mean, why do I always have to go first or second? I mean, you guys going to take over before I can go last. That's all. Just talk and see where I'm going. This is.
I already picked my team.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? This is a good guy. I like this matchup. I look at Phillip Rivers and say, okay, where is he at? This is a guy that this is probably his last year, or maybe one more year after that. He's got the weapons, and they have a defense. I think the worst thing the San Francisco 49ers did, they let the best defense player go. I know everyone talks about Nicky Bosa, which is a great player, but DeForest Buckner was the best player on that defensive front, without a doubt. For that, I know that offense entertains, but defense wins championships, so I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts.
Whoa. Steve, you kind of fell back within your seat too, didn't you?
Yeah, man. I understand that the Colts defense is good, but here's the thing about it: you can't count Lamar Jackson out. I mean, the Ravens are leading the NFL in rushing. I think it's close to 180 yards per game. But the Indianapolis Colts defense is playing good. But I think the Ravens are gonna fare well in this game. They're gonna go to 6-2 over the Colts.
Ooh, boy, Lorenzo, you threw me off on that one. So
I'm Lone Wolf, baby. I'm Lone Wolf, baby. On this one, I'm Lone Wolf.
So I'm gonna start with Steve on this one, just because Lorenzo's complaining. Because I think we beat him up too bad, Steve. Carolina Chiefs, who you got?
Oh my God! What how tough is that one? My God, fellas.
I got the Chiefs in this one, man. It's gonna be close to 80 degrees on Sunday. It's gonna be another air out game for Patrick Mahomes. He's gonna have a Patrick Mahomes day, 350, 400 yards somewhere in there. I'm going with the Chiefs.
I'm gonna roll with the Chiefs too. Look, it was a struggle trying to pick between these two teams. You got Christian McCaffrey.
You know what? Are you gonna do this? Are you really gonna do this right now?
No, I'm not gonna do it. Go ahead, Lorenzo. Who you got?
Chiefs.
Okay,
next.
see,
Let's go next.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
What will you preview that game for?
I have no idea because it's our job. And now, Steve. Now, I just figured this out because I was recording with Coleman this morning, and the one game that we didn't get a chance to parlay on last night was Detroit, Minnesota. I didn't realize that the site didn't have that game in there. So when Mike was asking about it, I was like, I couldn't remember who I picked. I'm looking at our bets, and I'm like, hold on, I don't see him on it. So I got Detroit in this game. Minnesota, they haven't played well. The team as well as the fans aren't really into Kirk Cousins right now, and this is a good time for Detroit to come in, steal a win on the road against the Minnesota Vikings, and to try to stay somewhere in the realm of a playoff, run.
Here's the thing about that, though. I wouldn't be so quick to pick Detroit because remember Matthew Stafford has been placed on the COVID-19 list. I don't know if he's going to be back or what for Sunday. So, but the thing about it is they got the trusty Chase Daniel as a backup, man. But even though Matt Patricia, he hasn't said yet whether it's going to be Chase or the other guy. I think David Blah or something like that. But if it's Chase, I got Detroit. If Chase isn't playing, I got to go with Kirk Cousins.
Lorenzo?
Yeah, mine's simple. It's the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota still can play defense. Zimmer's going to be playing for his job. Hey, Kirk Cousins knows that this is probably it. He's got to find a way. He's at home. The fans, they're booing him. He's feeling the pressure. It's time. You just come off a big win and beat Green Bay Packers. You need to put up or shut up. Kirk Cousins, it's time. So with this game, I'm taking at home. You got to go with the Minnesota Vikings. Oh.
Fortunately, that wasn't the game that was on my parlay, so I don't care if they win or not. Next up, though, this game was kind of difficult It's a 1-point Washington football team. They're 1-point favorite. Washington taking on hosting the New York Football Giants. Steve, which way are you going with this one?
Two toothless dogs kind of gnawing at each other, man. This is a tough game to pick, but I'm gonna go with Washington. The Giants they haven't played well at all. I'll give Washington at least this game, so I'm gonna go with Washington.
Now, Lorenzo, before I jump back and ask you now, Steve, I think the reason why they did not post that game to make bets on the Vikings, they're down 3 cornerbacks against the Lions, and the Lions are going to be without Galladay and 2 other players against the Vikings. So I think they just took that off, thankfully, saving us a chance to win a whole bunch of money. In that case, Lorenzo, who you got between the Giants and the Washington football team?
Believe it or not, this is going to be a game. You look at Ron Rivera, what he's doing. This team is back in the thick of things.
Yeah.
And the Washington Redskins football team, they're back in it. You look at Minnesota. I mean, you think about the teams that are in that division. Dallas Cowboys is ferocious. You think about Philadelphia, they've been just hanging around. And you think about what's out there. But then the G-men, don't sleep on Danny Dimes. I like the Giants in this game, guys. Giants have been playing a lot better football. Their defense is starting to play a lot better. Their offense is starting to get going. Danny Dimes is starting to throw the ball a lot better. He's got to learn to take care of the ball and secure the ball and not throw away when he's going down, throw interceptions. But this guy's playing a lot better, and this team's a lot better than what people think. Last week, they went head-to-head with Tom Brady and arguably the best team in the NFC, and some people are saying in the NFL. That's what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that went down to the wire. Yeah. So with that, I'm going with the G-men, guys. I'm taking the Giants.
That's you know what? That's fair because the Giants did look. They have played well in games that they had a chance to win, but then now this is going to be another struggle to watch. Of course, my guy Deshaun Watson, but of course you had J.J. Watt this week come out and say that he's not going to be a part of any rebuilding situation. So perhaps he'll be looking to get waived or cut or traded in the offseason. Houston takes on, they travel to Jacksonville. This is the only game that they've won, the only team that they've won against so far this season. I got Houston on the road. I think Deshaun Watson is just the fact that he's Deshaun Watson when he walks on the field, he's better than everyone else on that other side of the football. I got Houston winning big over Jacksonville. Steve, what say you?
I got Houston winning this game, but I think it's going to be more of David Johnson putting in work, man. I think he'll
got to get that $11 million out of him.
Yeah, I think he'll have a heck of a day. And I just don't like the fact that it's been a lot of all this turmoil down in Houston, man. And Bill O'Brien, he has his team terrible, and I'm glad he's out of there. But I think Houston will pull this one out.
Mr. Neal, what's
you know what? Believe it or not, guys, I'm in the same church, same pew, and I'll let you guys sit on my lap this time. I'm going to take Houston, too. I think you look at Houston, you think about who they have. Romeo Cannell, know this guy personally. Guys like him. If anybody knows Romeo Cannell, who stepped in as the interim head coach, he was my coach there with the Jets. Love him. Ready, let's go. He's a really good guy, great person, and guys will play for that guy. So I'm, going with Houston. I think they're going to play for him. They're going to get that win.
This is another pick'em game coming up this Sunday. And so because it is his team, I'm going to allow Lorenzo to start off. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. Who you got?
You know what, guys? I love it. I like it. I love my Chargers. I know. Let's go Chargers. Let's go. But it's just too much. You look at what Carr's doing. Carr's got his swag back. How Carr got his groove back. You know what? You bring in another quarterback to say you want to push him and make him compete. You bring in you bring in Mariota to compete with him, and Carr says, you know what? Tell me how my boots taste. And Carr's picked it up and played well. And he's got a tight end that might be the top 3 or 4 tight ends in the league. And, oh, my God, Brandon Jacobs, this young man can run the ball in between tackles, run it outside, inside, you name it. He can do it. So you look at this team, the Raiders, they're playing well. They know that they got their playoff lives. Their playoff hopes is still alive. The Chargers guys, they play well enough to find a way to lose. They don't know how to finish. That's why the Chargers didn't score some points. They're going to make it competitive. But, guys, they don't know how to win. So, for that reason, I'm taking the Raiders.
Whoa. Breaking news here.
Wow.
Darren Sterling. Whoa. You will not get invited to the alumni game. Steve, who you got?
I play to win, guys. I play to win.
Okay, that'll work. Steve, who you got?
I'm going with the Raiders, man. I think Derek Carr, he's going to sit back in the pocket, man, and have a field day. licking his chops, man, because of course no Joey Bosa to be breathing down his neck. So I think it's going to be a heck of a day for Derek Carr out there. And I mean, only good thing about this game, if you are a Chargers fan, is Justin Herbert. He's had 4 straight games with at least 21 fantasy points. So I mean, if you're a fantasy owner, you got to be happy about that.
You know, it's interesting. This is the one time I was going to go with the Chargers, but I'm glad I didn't have to. I got the Raiders as well. Can I believe all 3 of us are picking the Raiders in this game? The biggest thing for me that the biggest concern that I have is the fact that they can get out to a big lead, but that defense can't seem to sustain it, and they seem to fall. Whenever I guess the magic number is 16, they get a lead of 16 or more. They figure out a way. They find a way to give the game away, which is an area of concern that, of course, leads me to believe that Anthony Lynn will not be back next year. Now, the other 2 late afternoon games, we got the Miami Dolphins at the Arizona Cardinals. Steve, who you got in this game?
I'm going with Miami.
Huh?
I just think even though everybody who's been listening, they know I've been against Miami for benching Ryan Fitzmagic, man. But thing about it is, I think Tua, he got the win last week. He has the confidence, so Miami's gonna pull it out.
You know what? I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals, they've had a bye week. Most times when you get a bye week, you got 13, 14 days to kind of get things together. They had a big win against the Seattle Seahawks. I don't see them having a letdown. And even though Tua, coming off of his initial win, he didn't really play all that well. He didn't have to because of what the defense did and the special teams did. I think he only completed 12 passes and passed for under 100 yards. I don't know if that defense will travel. But it might. However, I do like the combination of Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. And here's the other thing too. Arizona, they are playing for a playoff spot, and so because they knocked off Seattle, they know that they're just a half a game behind them, and so they know that they need this win to kind of stay up there near the top of the food chain, so they can perhaps get that top seed. Lorenzo, what say you?
Well, I think you guys talked about some great reasons why both you guys are picking the teams you're picking. I just think that when you're coming off a bye, it's kind of tough. When you're coming off a bye, you have an extra week to prepare for a team.
Yeah.
So when you do have that, you got to give that team a little bit of an edge. And the biggest thing, it wouldn't be that turning point for me. The turning point for me, guys, is traveling from one coast, from West Coast to East Coast. That's a long travel. So now you're talking about traveling over 3 time zones, and that's a long way. If you think about from Arizona where that's at, and you think about where Miami's at, think about that travel. That's a long time. That's being in the flight for 4 or 5 hours on a plane. That right there is going to be tough. So that's the reason. And I still believe, because Buffalo's losing this weekend, I still believe that the Miami Dolphins will win that division. You look at what's going on with Belichick and his boys, not happening. You look at Buffalo, up and down. The Jets, they're gonzo. They aren't flying anywhere. Jets can't get off the ground. They're still on the runway with flat tires. So when I look at that, I'm going with, that's right. I don't call him calamari. I call him calamari. Because calamari, that tastes good when it touches your lips, and he is sizzling with calamari. So I'm taking calamari and the Arizona Cardinals.
That is Lorenzo Neal joining us on Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City. Last game, well, no, not the last game, but we got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Dallas Cowboys, Steve. Of course, the Pittsburgh, they're undefeated. They are the one team that is ahead of Kansas City, in that hunt for the number 1 seed in the AFC conference. Who you got?
And
can they cover the 14-point spread now?
I think, I've been kind of conflicted with this, man. Reason why is because the Steelers have to lose at some point. I don't think they're going to be going undefeated this season. But will it be in Dallas? I don't think so, man. I think the Steelers are still going to win this game. They're going to move to 8-0. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott, he's not a leader of this team, and he should be. And so I just think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win this game.
Now, Steve, I appreciate that because I could have sworn that you were leaning towards the other team, but I thought you. Okay, well, I appreciate you being a man of your convictions and decide to go in the right direction. Now, I do want to let you know, though, Steve. But to your point, Ezekiel Elliott suffered a hamstring strain, I believe, against the last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, so he might not even be at 100%. So that could also play a factor. I got Pittsburgh winning. Question is, will they cover the 14-point spread? I'm praying to God that they do. And I got to ask you, Lorenzo, who you got in this game?
I can't believe you guys gave me that long dissertation about Pittsburgh. I mean, Pittsburgh and playing against the Dallas. The Dallas. I mean, you can get a college team to play better defense than that. They give up more booty than a dump truck. That defense is absolutely ferocious, guys. Absolutely. Put the points at 15. Put it at 16. It's still too low. This is going
don't say that now.
The Steelers probably up. Yes, you're safe. Your money's safe. You know what? Give me some of that. I want some. I would love some of that action. 14, 15. Even go higher. Dallas is going to get beat. You look at Ezekiel. I know you're talking about being injured. Ezekiel better take some time off because that young fella, Ezekiel he's made Ezekiel expendable. Ezekiel may become expendable in Dallas when you think about their backups, how that young man's playing. He's playing very, very well. Yeah. Ezekiel, you know what? For the first time, I'm seeing him blink. Trying too hard, missing holes, not ready, because this young guy is running harder and seeing the holes better, and the Dallas Cowboys are better with him. Didn't think I'd be saying that at this point in time of Ezekiel's career, but right now he's getting outplayed.
No, you know that's fair too, and there have been talks that perhaps this could be Zeke's last season. Like, you know, maybe Jerry Jones looks to trade him and get some draft capital from him. So we'll see how that all unfolds throughout the rest of the season. But the big game, of course, Lorenzo, I gotta ask you once again, who was your Super Bowl prediction? What two teams did you have going to the Super Bowl?
I don't know, guys. What did we say?
Oh, now we don't know. Okay, I'm just saying. I had the Chiefs in Tampa Bay.
No, I did. No, I know what I did have. I'll tell you what I did have, and I'll tell you right now what I have. And I said it. I meant it. I elbow bent it. Before I take it back, I'll put more in it. I had the Kansas City Chiefs, and I had it represent the NFC, and I won't go anywhere. I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's what I said on this show. Yes, you recorded it. Mark it down. I told you to mark the tape. So I'm not running, kid. I'm not running. Where are you at now?
No, first of all, I just want to make sure because that was, of course, my team and my prediction way back on April 22nd. Steve, you know that because, you know, I reposted it. But Steve has the Kansas City Chiefs against the New Orleans Saints. And I bring that up because we got the New Orleans Saints going to Tampa Bay to take on the Bucs in Sunday Night Football. Tampa Bay is, of course, looking for a little revenge action. Steve, what say you? Which team you got? And this is the debut of one Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, man, I'm telling you, they're not going to be able to be, you know, in sync yet. It's going to come, but it's not going to be in this game. You know what? Alvin Kamara is going to do what he does. He's the leader of the team. He's the running back. He's the wide receiver. Plus, not only that, they're getting my guy, can't guard Michael Thomas. They're getting him back for this game. So, of course, the New Orleans Saints are going to do what they do and get this dub.
Now, Lorenzo, I don't know whether or not Steve has been watching Tampa Bay's defense lately, but I know you've got to be – I'm not going to say smart than Steve because Steve is very smart because he agreed with me about Kansas City winning the Super Bowl. But who you got winning this game?
Well, you know what? Tampa Bay last week, Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense didn't look like the Chicago Bears of old. Didn't look like the Purple People Eaters of the old defense. They just didn't look that good. The Giants was able to have their way, ball control. So they're looking for them to bounce back. So I look at Tampa Bay. They got by that Giants game. They squeaked by it. I think they were thinking about this game, just like it was a week before Christmas and all through the house, the teams were working and using their brains, but they were thinking of sweets for striped candy cane. Sometimes a week before Christmas, you get a little bit more excited. You start looking ahead. And I think that's what happened to Tampa Bay against the Giants that last week. This week, this is Christmas. It's revenge. Tom Brady looked absolutely ferocious. You like that word? Yes. Look it up. I made it up.
Yes,
you know what? He was ferocious. He threw 2 picks. He threw a pick 6. Not 1, but 2 in that game. Everyone said he fell off the side of a turnip truck. Said Tom Brady's done. You know what? I look at Tom Brady said I might float like a butterfly. He's going to sting like a bee. Tom Brady is the greatest of all time. He's going to float like a butterfly. He's going to sting like a bee. And Drew Brees can't see him because he's going to be on fire, guys. I'm taking, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are at home, and they're looking for some revenge. Give me the Tampa Bay and give me the points.
He mentioned Christmas. Nobody's looking forward to a COVID Christmas. Nobody is. It's not gonna happen.
Oh man! First of all, Lorenzo, I was trying my best. I had to find a mute button so I would not crack up laughing on there with that soliloquy that you did. That was a very beautiful thing. Before we get you out of here, I know where everybody's going, but Patriots, Jets, Steve, who you got?
Of course, the Patriots, man. Even though I think, and I've been saying this, I think COVID has definitely kind of put a damper on Cam Newton's game. I think he's still feeling the lingering effects of COVID, just by what it looks like in his play. Because, of course, he came out balling at the beginning of the season, and now it's just kind of nothing, So, but I think they're still going to win this game, but hopefully Cam can bounce back towards the second half of the season.
Lorenzo, who you got, man?
Yeah, it's simple. I'm with you. I'm in the same church, same pew, and I'll sit on your lap this time. I'm riding the same train you are. I'm going to go with the Patriots as well.
All right, so we're all on the Patriots, so we got to take a quick break. But when we come back, it's a story I'd like for you to share, Lorenzo, when we come back. You're listening to Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Hey, Kansas City, there's a new whiskey in town, and it's a really big deal. The Holiday Distillery is excited to introduce Wicked Pickle, a spicy pickle-flavored whiskey that is equal parts spicy and sour. This one-of-a-kind whiskey is a take on the classic pickleback shot, mixed to perfection, all in one bottle. Enjoy Wicked Pickle as a shot, straight or chilled, to experience the full spicy and sour effect. Available now at McCormick on Main in Weston, and coming soon to a store near you. Be sure to enjoy Wicked Pickle responsibly.
Rock your home with new tops from Kansas City's best countertop fabricator, Rock Tops. They custom fabricate and install stone surfaces that will make you fall in love with your home. Making homes look incredible is Rock Tops' thing. Being nice just comes naturally. Rock Tops offers carry-out samples and virtual or in-home appointments. Call 913-782-0802 or go to rocktopskc.com. Mention 810 Rocks to receive 10% off right now.
At Crown Volkswagen,
we really are doing something that we love, and that's making people happy.
Because that's how we've always done it.
And that's how we'll continue driving forward.
2020 Atlas Cross Sport models, 0.9% APR for up to 72 months. Does not include $299 dealer fee on approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer ends 11/02/2020. The 2021 ID4 electric vehicle. Reserve yours today at Crown Volkswagen, 3400 South Iowa, Lawrence, Kansas. CrownMotorsVW.com.
What's up, Kansas City? Jake Gutierrez here to talk about my friends at ZipRecruiter. Look, right now, hiring is challenging, especially when you have so much on your plate, so much going on in our current climate. Luckily, there's one place you can go where hiring is simple, fast, and smart. A place where a growing business can connect to a qualified candidate. That place is ZipRecruiter.com/Jake. Look, ZipRecruiter does the work for you. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 4 out of 5 employers who post to ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate within the first day. That's right. And right now, ZipRecruiter, you can try them for free. My listeners can go to ZipRecruiter.com/Jake. That's ZipRecruiter.com/JAKE. That's simple. ZipRecruiter.com/Jake. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
We are back on Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. Steve Wall sitting in for Sterling. We are also joined by former NFL All-Pro, Mr. Lorenzo Neal. And Lorenzo, I wanted to ask you, because I haven't really had a chance to ask you this before, but I came across an old article about you inducting LT into the Hall of Fame. One, how did that come about, and what did that mean to you, for someone who blocked him for a number of years?
Yeah, you know what? LT had plenty of options, and I didn't, and I have to be forthright and honest, because this was such an honor, and I'm still just honored to be selected. But I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you who would have inducted him if circumstances were different. And that's someone who's near and dear to the Kansas City organization. That's Marty Schottenheimer. LT loved Marty. Marty was like a father figure, is a father figure to LaDainian, and so many different guys in the National Football League. What he stood for, he and Pat, you guys had them there in Kansas City. He's a leader. He's a great man. And thoughts and prayers with the Schottenheimer family. I know Marty battles with Alzheimer's, and his wife, Pat, and Brian Schottenheimer, who's the offense coordinator for Seattle, very good friends, and stay in touch with that family. So I was, I would take it. I was the second option, and I'll take that because it was an honor. For LT, arguably the greatest running back that ever played the game, he's in that conversation. Watch the highlights. You can, with Emmett having more longevity, yes. Leading rusher, yes. But if you say who's one of the most electrifying running backs, Barry Sanders lost more yards, but Barry Sanders, no one could do what Barry did. But LT, who he is and who he was as a running back and who he is as a man and as a person, unbelievable, guys. The guy was lightning in a bottle. I always said, if you could see the back of 2-1, it was too late. And if he was even, he was leaving. And he's a great man. I tell you this, guys, without a shadow of a doubt, he's a better person than he was a football player. And he was a hell of a football player. So, unbelievable guy, great player, great person. So when he asked me, I was so honored when he asked me to induction to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I remember reading, I think, the article, and you said that one of his biggest fans happened to be your sister. And said that he would always check on her when you all were out to dinner and stuff.
Absolutely. My sister her name's Twyla. She was born with Down syndrome. She was a Down baby. And LaDainian, she loves, I'm marrying you, LaDainian. He just said, me and you were getting married. He would hold her hand. He'd sit by her at dinner. And he just Pro Bowls. He would just treat her like a queen. And LaDainian Thompson had such an amazing heart, such an amazing person. And those are the moments that I remember. And he just always treated people well. And I'll say right now, you guys have the chance, all your billions of listeners out there listening, have a chance, go listen to LaDainian Tomlinson's speech at the Hall of Fame. His speech was fitting then, it's fitting now, and it's continuing to be fitting. He's an unbelievable speaker. It was an unbelievable speech that he had at the Hall of Fame. You guys get a chance, definitely got to listen to that speech. It changed a lot of individuals' lives.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because obviously, with the whole Black Lives Matter and stuff that the NFL were promoting, it was his particular speech that they were using, throughout to promote, a lot of the stuff that they were doing this offseason. So shout out to him and, of course, for what he did, and for what you did for him and vice versa. Lorenzo, look, any party shot, how can people get a hold of you either via social media or listen to you and to your shows?
Yes, they can just go to Lorenzo Neal, number 41. That's my Twitter handle, Instagram, also Twitter. So I'd love for you to follow me on Instagram. Just type in Lorenzo Neal. Should be one of the first to show up. My son's on there too, number 9, Purdue, hammer up. Bowler down, hammer up. He's an unbelievable player. Should be getting drafted this year, guys. So we'll see what happens there. And they can reach me on Twitter as well, Lorenzo Neal. And also I'm on 95.7 The Game every Monday from 10 to 2, every Friday night from 6 to 7. Wednesdays from 6:30 to 7:30 as well. So you can follow me, be a good follow, enjoy. You guys are the best. I enjoy coming to the show, love having fun with you guys because that's what life's about. We have fun, we joke, we have fun, but we know this is a game and we know that this is just a part of life, and it makes everyone, with all the things that are going on, being able to joke around with you guys and go banter back and forth about games and who we like. And this is a helps Hill, and it's just a good time. So I really appreciate the opportunity, guys, to come on and chat with you.
Always, Lorenzo. Then I did add you. You said it's just at Lorenzo Neal, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So
you
sent you a follow, so I expect one back, Steve, as well.
I'm looking right now. Look, I'm on my IG right now. I'm on my Instagram right now. You see that sexy picture of me on Instagram right now?
No, actually, I don't. I don't do Instagram like that. Twitter though, you got me. But okay, I'll follow you on Instagram as well. Lorenzo, really appreciate your time, man. Look, you have a blessed, safe week. Hopefully, we can do this again next week. And until then, again, I'll say in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, "Go Chargers!" For you.
Go Chargers, go.
Now, Steve, of course, I want to thank you all this week. You've been hosting with us. Where can people hear you at this weekend? I know you got a show tomorrow, so go ahead and let people know how they can, tune in to hear you.
You can hear me 100.1 FM. You can always follow at the W Show, KC, 11 a.m. to noon. That's when we'll be on. Myself, Jasmine Palmer, and also No. And want to send a quick prayer to DJ Q as well.
Yep, and of course, Steve and I will be back on Sunday with the Chiefs cheat sheet. We'll be doing it. Where are we doing it from Sunday?
We're gonna do it from the Westin, our good spot, man. Overlooking downtown. No better place in the city, man.
Well, I don't know. I mean, there's Gates Barbecue now. You know what I'm saying? That come with a little bonus there. But no, shout out to the people at Benson's over at the Western Crown Center. Look forward to doing a show there on Sunday. So make sure you stop by Halls. It's one of the people who clothe Steve if you need an outfit. And of course, you can always stop by Todd's Clothiers. Of course, if you like the way that he suits me as well. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we really, really, really appreciate the opportunity to bring you the best in sports talk radio. Also, remember, wear a mask. COVID is real. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care what you see. You see, it can affect the team doctor of the Kansas City Chiefs. He caught COVID. So if he can get it, anybody can get it. Of course, President Trump has gotten it. So take this thing seriously. Please wear a mask. You see, I got mine right here. Those watching online, wear your mask, social distance, and just use good judgment. And above all case, remember, we got to protect Patrick Mahomes. So until next time, and on Monday, we'll be back. You're listening to Darren Sterling here on ESPN Kansas City, 94.5 FM, 1510 AM. Have a blessed, safe weekend.